A century of progress, a vision for the future. These are the words we chose for this 100th anniversary of our union. The ATU has struggled and thrived through a century, through wars and in peacetime, through hard economic times and through prosperity. Together we've gone through change. Often we've insisted on change. President William D. Mahone, who was at the helm of this union for more than 5 decades, truly set the solid foundation upon which the ATU is built. The presidents who have followed him, A.L. Spratling, John M. Elliott, Daniel V. Maroney, John Rowland, and I have all remembered his example and his spirit. Each of us has led the union to fight the battles of our day. But when all is said and done, it is the membership who keeps this union strong. Through all the changes, the union has been constant because of the dedication of our members and officers who have made this organization thrive throughout the United States and Canada. I'd like to dedicate this celebration of 100 years to you, the members of this great organization, the Amalgamated Transit Union.
Years ago, when they, I guess, had the horses, first of all, pulling the vehicles, a man stood up there and drove the horses, and they made sure the horses were changed about every 3 hours, but the man could stay out there working 10 or 12 hours. And all kinds of inclement weather, cold weather, rain, snow, it didn't matter. We've had, I understand, reading our history, people actually freeze up there when driving these open vestibule vehicles.
In order to survive struggles with city transit management, then horse-drawing cars in the beginning, was that they could not really survive long work stoppages because they cut off all of the citizenry from transportation, and they used that transportation to go to and from work, so that the principle of arbitration was developed. It became part of the Constitution of the International Union back then. It's still in the Constitution. Our local unions are required to request arbitration before they can get permission to strike.
This was a time of change, and the union demanded change. First for closed and heated vestibules, and much later for exact fare. In their time and their way, both of these changes saved lives and protected workers. From horse-drawn vehicles to electric streetcars, from motor buses to light rail, including over-the-road and paratransit. ATU people were supposed to do the work of transporting the public. The union also insisted that anyone had the right to move with the work. The principle of following the work was established in the early days. It's still true today.
I've gone from a bus operator of 14 and a half years to a train operator for 15 months.
For approximately 13 years, I drove buses, different kinds of buses, old buses, new buses, over different routes.
And I'm now presently a station manager, and I like it very much.
And they negotiated the people who could, by seniority, could go to the light rail. That's exactly what I wanted to do.
Well, the International has done some really great things with education of the members. All the locals, all the memberships in Canada and the United States for shop steward education, grievance handling, and on up even to the senior officers. They have leadership training, financial secretary training, advanced arbitration techniques. All of these are very important to make the union more effective.
The ATU is a resource for its members for information about how to do a better job and qualify for their jobs, like training for the commercial driver's license. Whether the information is sent to the locals or available through ATU classes at the George Meany Center for Labor Studies or other locations, education is an ATU priority.
I was one of 103 women who were from all different parts of the country. I found that to be the most enlightening thing I've ever experienced. There were women there who were there because they wanted to know what to do to start a union. Boy, this is fascinating. Here I am. I'm here to grasp more education. And it's people about my union, and there are people here that don't even have a union. They want to know what to do to unionize. And I thought this day and time, if you worked anywhere, everybody was in a union.
Not everybody has a union. There are companies where there is no union, where bosses don't listen, where workers come last. Emma works for such a company.
I transport elderly and handicapped servants, and I drive a van, and there's some of us just not safe to drive. We don't know why it's so hard for, to talk to your boss and just tell him, well, this is not living wages. The wages are not living wages, and the vehicles are not kept up. And we go to him and tell him, he said, well, okay, I'll get it fixed. This never happens.
Emma is trying to organize the drivers in her company to join the ATU so that she and her fellow workers can have the benefits of a contract and union membership. She knows what others have discovered. There is strength in unity.
I've seen members who have been discharged, I've seen one member who was discharged, lost his home, was able to get his job back. Now, you never gain 100% of what you lose, but he was able to get his job back, and the means and the methods to try to restore the things that he had lost. And he would not have been able to do that had it not been for the ATU.
I was driving a commissioned vehicle while under the influence of alcohol. I was stopped and confronted by one of our supervisors at work and brought into management. Then they decided to terminate my position with the company. I then spoke to union representatives, or actually they were there with me, and they fought, got my job back. Guidance, they gave me guidance to go into a detox, a 28-day program for alcoholism. They guided me through the hard times that I thought that I really did have and knew that I had.
In today's workplace, people have problems they can't and don't have to handle alone. The ATU has been in the forefront of helping our members through employee assistance programs and union counseling. It's just another way the union is there to come to the aid of the members. Pauline is a union counselor.
I've gotten calls late at night, but it's rewarding knowing that I helped someone, that I was there for them, even if it's, like I said, just to talk. And a lot of people just like to have someone to actually listen to them and let them talk.
I would not have known what to do if it wasn't for the guidance that I got from our union representatives.
The ATU, the union. It is the voice of the worker in Canada and the U.S. On the job, in the community, in Parliament, on Capitol Hill, and in the courts. Our union has fought for protections for workers. When transit systems moved from predominantly private to public systems, the ATU was there to see to it that workers retained their rights and follow the work. When the privacy and dignity of workers are threatened by random drug testing, ATU has taken the battle to the legislative halls and into the courts. When privatization became the political calling card, the ATU fought tooth and nail, securing anti-privatization language in bills, educating our members, and sponsoring a widely publicized study pointing out the dangers of privatization. When transit employees were not receiving proper pay for the long hours they put in, the ATU secured coverage under the Fair Labor Standards Act, not only for transit workers, but for all public employees. When any threats to our members arise, we equip our officers and educate our members. The ATU is at the forefront of every battle for dignity on the job and for a better way of life.
The boss, the companies, the employers never gave these benefits to the employees. They were fought for and won by the labor movement and through the collective action of many people.
This way, if we got a union in there, we have somebody to back us up. If we go to something like if we go to a union store, we have a good union store, they can do something about this, you know. We won't have to drive a van that's unsafe because we'll have someone to back us up. If we refuse now, we could get fired, you know, just for refusing to drive a van.
We're asking this for a reasonable living, and he's offering little enough. He's talking about cutting our pay in half.
In the midst of the struggles, from the beginnings of the union to more recent hardships like the Greyhound strike, the contract is of utmost importance.
Well, contract is extremely important because it provides guarantees for both the employer and the employee. And the contract is important to the employee because certain guarantees that are so basic that people don't even think about are provided, such as job security for the duration of the contract.
I'm just so glad that I took this step and went to the Amalgamated Transit Union for help. I'm really glad I did that.
We begin our second century as we did our first, organizing the unorganized, working to protect the right to collective bargaining, seeking to safeguard our health and welfare, educating our members, and in every way possible, working to secure a brighter future for ourselves, our families, and those who come after us. The challenges that face us in the coming years could easily be discouraging, but no more so than those that faced our founders 100 years ago. The challenges are there, like the use of permanent replacement workers to break strikes, privatization of the transit industry, and elimination of jobs, the rising costs of health care, and the need to protect families, our children, the future of the workforce. We will advance on all these fronts, and we will succeed, so that 100 years from now, we can continue to raise our voices and sing, "The Union makes us strong."
When the union's inspiration
I can't envision a respectable life without a union.
through the workers' blood shall run.
Where I am today, whatever I have today,
Means a lot for the workers.
I gained it through being a member of the Amalgamated Transit Union.
There can be no power greater anywhere beneath the sun.
ATU got my job back.
I feel that my union is very strong.
All of us together on our job.
Yet what force on earth is weaker than the people's strength of one? But the union makes us strong.
I've enjoyed every blessed minute.
Fantastic.